Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy here with something a little bit different from what I usually do, but not entirely different. For some strange reason, I had an urge to make a really quick top 10 list for you guys today. I don't know whether it's because it's top 10 month, or I was really bored and I just want to make a video for you guys, but regardless, you guys are getting a new video, so everybody wins. And instead of going into great detail as to why I picked the choices that are on the list, I'm just gonna sum it all up in one or two sentences for each choice. And today, I thought I'd give you guys a quick list of my top 10 anime that I constantly rewatch. And I know a lot of you have been always asking me to make a list sort of like this, so hey, you guys finally are getting it. And just like all my other top 10 lists, I do have some honorable mentions, and they are as follows: Dragon Ball Z, All My Goddess, Bento, Bobobo-bobo-bobo, Urusei Yatsura, Baccano, and Hetalia, Axis Powers. And without further ado, let's get to the list. Starting off the list at number 10 is Ninja Nonsense, a show about a bunch of wacky ninjas and their hilarious misadventures, a one-sided lesbian romance, and a flying yellow head voiced by Goku himself. I mean, just hearing that concept alone makes me want to watch it again. I've watched this anime a bajillion times and it never gets old. I always laugh. Slicing his way into the number 9 spot is Afro Samurai. Because of the anime's short length of 5 episodes and easy to follow story, the anime has a really high rewatch factor. Not to mention the always entertaining, high octane and bloody action scenes that are always exhilarating to watch no matter how many times you see it, especially when you see Afro just slicing fools left and right. The excellent animation, the kick-ass soundtrack, the deep characters, and most importantly of all, the excellent voice acting of my man Samuel L. motherfucking Jackson as Afro Samurai and Ninja. Taking your order at the number 8 spot is The Devil is a Part-Timer. The thing that kept me coming back to this anime is the dynamic relationship and undeniable comedic chemistry between Sadao Mao and Emilia the hero. Like, their interactions alone made the show worth seeing again and again and again. It never got old. Not to mention the really hilarious side characters, especially Sadao Mao's excellent side character of Alciel. In fact, he probably, just like those two, made the show for me and made me come back to see more. And I never got a chance to express this in my initial review, but that opening theme is freaking infectious. I love listening to that song over and over and over again. Oh, and fair warning, you may see a reoccurring trend in this list when it comes to comedy animes. I just can't get enough of them. Overreacting at the number 7 spot is D-Frag. Similar to The Devil is a Part-Timer, the thing that keeps making me come back to this anime is just how outright hilarious each of the characters are, especially whenever you would see the main character Kenji overreact to certain situations. His overreactions made this anime and always had me laughing. Added with the bizarre behavior of almost every single character in the show, it's just so much fun to watch. You will never be bored watching D-Frag. Oh, would you look at that? My number 6 choice is also a comedy anime, but this time it's an ecchi comedy, Heaven's Lost Property. The moment I heard Tomoki sing about his tingly nips, I mean, there was no going back. I knew I was gonna have to rewatch this anime over and over again, and it always is hilarious. Whether it be the English dub or the Japanese sub, the show is just funny. Not to mention the surprising depth that this anime has with both its characters and its story. It's actually really well done. It's one of the few ecchi animes out there that doesn't come off as a repetitive drag, is always constantly funny, and knows how to utilize its ecchi elements properly. Touching my heart every single time I see it is my number 5 choice, Elfen Lied, the only serious anime on this list. And the reason that I watch this really depressing anime over and over again is to see the really sweet yet tragic backstory dealing with Lucy and Kota. It is one of the sweetest backstories I've ever seen that's also really dark and tragic. But every time I see it, I can't help but smile, then ultimately be really sad and go, oh my god! It's emotionally deep and tragic, yet touching and lighthearted in some points. The characters are all interesting. The action scenes are very well done. It has an excellent resolution, and that opening theme is still one of the greatest opening themes I've ever heard. Coming back to life in the number 4 spot is This a Zombie of the Dead? A second season of an anime that completely eclipses its first season and truly embraces the ridiculous premise of a guy that's a zombie and a magical girl all at the same time. It still has some of the most memorably funny scenes I've ever seen in an anime. I mean, how many of us are ever gonna forget that scene where Tomoya is literally dancing, takes off his shirt, and starts yodeling? That is freaking hilarious. Or the Tsundere Cafe, also hilarious. Blasting its way into the number 3 spot is Yu Hakusho. Even after more than 20 years, guys, this anime still holds up as being one of the greatest shonen action animes ever created by having some of the most compelling, memorable, badass, and epic action set pieces that I can't get enough of. I love watching the Dark Tournament over and over again. In fact, when I was making my list last week, I actually stopped making the list to watch the fight between Toguro and Yusuke all over again. That's how infectious this anime is. And it has some of the richest characters in shonen anime, has excellent animation, great voice acting, both in the English dub and the Japanese sub, although I prefer the English dub. One of the most memorable opening themes I've ever heard in an anime. And it's just an all-around excellent anime with a very satisfying conclusion. Being an absolute baka in the number 2 spot is Baka and Tess, Summon the Beast. I've said this a million times in other videos before, but this anime holds a very special place in my heart because I was in a very low point back in 2012 when I was making videos, and I saw this anime and it completely lifted my spirits and I couldn't get enough of it. In fact, after finishing the anime, I watched it again and again and again and again. I continuously found it more funny each time I saw it. And whenever I need to lift up my spirits, this anime and my number 1 choice is always the anime that I choose to watch to make me feel happy again. I mean, it just has so many fun, memorable moments, fun, memorable characters, great, colorful animation, and some of the catchiest opening and ending themes I've heard in an anime since my number 1 choice. And now I guess we should just jump right into number 1. I already talked about number 2. Yeah, I know you all know what my number 1 choice is, so let's not beat around the bush anymore. My number 1 choice is KissXSis. I mean, this anime is just so amazing. Whenever I see Captain Fuckface, Tweedle want the D, and Tweedle wanna come, and they're just like having these really awkward sexual tension moments. I mean, it's so exhilarating to watch. I'm like, oh, give me more, give me more, give me more. Psych! Fuck that anime. My number 1 choice, of course, is School Rumble. This anime, no matter how many times I watch it, it never gets old. It's always funny. I watched this 2 days ago, and the first episode still had me laughing in that scene where you have Oji Karasuma, Tenma, and Harima all chasing each other, all being completely oblivious at the fact that they're each chasing each other, and they're just going through like these different areas and doing these silly things. They jump off the cliff. I mean, that still got a really loud laugh from me in the first episode alone. And I've seen that scene so many times that it still makes me laugh. Or that scene where Harima gets the letter challenging him to a fight, and then he writes a love letter to Tenma to go meet him at the back of the school, and it just happens to be the same place that Tenoji said, hey, let's meet and fight, and Tenoji laughs at the letter, and then he says, oh, it's actually my letter, and it pisses off Harima. I mean, these scenes are so memorable. They're so ingrained in my mind, and even though I know every beat by beat of them, they still get me. They still make me laugh. The characters are just so much fun. I enjoy seeing them every single time. Their interactions, the silly things that they do, the chemistries that they form with each other, the hilarious moments throughout the series, and that's exactly why School Rumble is my number 1 anime that I constantly rewatch, and after making this list, I probably might go watch it again just for the hell of it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was my list of the top 10 anime that I constantly rewatch. And I would love to know what you guys thought about my list. Did you agree with it? Did you disagree with it? And let me know, what is an anime that you find yourself constantly rewatching over and over again? You never get sick of it. Leave it in the comment section below. And this is not the main top 10 list that I was supposed to make this week. That probably will come out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. I also have an anime review coming up. It's probably gonna be my favorite anime to review this year because it is the best anime I've seen all year. So stay tuned for that, get excited for that. And I will be reviewing Ghostbusters this Friday. Just please be good. And until then, guys, if you'd like to see more videos on this channel and be a part of the Black Critic crew, please hit that subscribe button below. Like this video if you really enjoyed it, and I hope you come and rewatch all of my other videos as the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.